Why leg strength matters more than ever after 60. Imagine waking up one morning and finding it difficult to get out of bed. Not because you're tired, but because your legs feel heavy, stiff, or weak. Now imagine that happening day after day, slowly eroding your confidence in walking, making it harder to enjoy activities you once loved, and leaving you fearful of losing your independence. For millions of older adults across the United States, this scenario isn't hypothetical, it's their reality. But what if I told you that one of the most overlooked solutions lies not in a prescription bottle or a physical therapist's office, but right at the dinner table? As a physician who spent over 3 decades studying aging and human physiology, I've seen firsthand how deeply nutrition affects mobility. Our legs are remarkable structures, complex systems of bones, muscles, nerves, and blood vessels that must work in perfect harmony to keep us moving. But aging disrupts that harmony. Muscle mass naturally declines, bones become more brittle, nerve signals slow down, and circulation can deteriorate. These changes are normal, yes, but they're not irreversible. That's the part too many people don't realize. The right nutritional support can dramatically change how you walk, how you stand, and how much you enjoy life. In this article, we're going to explore the 7 most important vitamins and minerals for maintaining strong, functional legs as you age. These nutrients are not trendy supplements or quick-fix hacks. They're the foundational elements your body needs to keep your muscles contracting efficiently, your bones resilient, your nerves firing correctly, and your circulation flowing. And the best part? Most of them are easy to incorporate into your daily life, if you know what to look for. This isn't just another health blog post, it's a roadmap. I'll be drawing on both cutting-edge research and decades of clinical experience to explain not only what these nutrients do, but how they work, what happens when you don't get enough, and how you can restore them through real food, smart supplementation, and practical lifestyle choices. I'll also share real stories from patients, people just like you, who turn their health around simply by changing how they nourish their bodies. So if you're ready to strengthen your legs, reduce your risk of falls, and regain the freedom that comes from confident movement, let's begin. Now, I would like to present the top 7 vitamins that help strengthen your legs and prevent leg cramps in older adults. I warmly invite you all to listen and follow along. Vitamin D, the sunshine nutrient that powers your legs. When it comes to leg strength in older adults, vitamin D is the unsung hero. Everyone talks about calcium for bones or protein for muscles, but vitamin D is what makes both work together effectively. It's not just a helper in calcium absorption. It's a powerful regulator of muscle contraction, balance, and even coordination. As people age, the ability of the skin to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight significantly decreases. Combine that with less time spent outdoors and the widespread use of sunscreen, and what you have is a recipe for chronic deficiency. I remember one of my patients, a 74-year-old retired high school teacher named Earl, who came in complaining of frequent leg cramps and an increasing fear of falling. He didn't feel as steady on his feet anymore and assumed it was just part of aging. His blood work showed severely low levels of vitamin D. We started him on a daily supplement of 2,000 IU and encouraged morning walks with light sun exposure. Within 2 months, Earl felt stronger, more stable, and more importantly, less anxious about walking in public. Scientific research backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that older adults with sufficient vitamin D levels had stronger lower limb muscles and better balance. One of the mechanisms is that vitamin D helps activate fast-twitch muscle fibers, those critical for sudden movement adjustments that keep you from falling when you trip or lose balance. Getting more vitamin D doesn't have to mean sitting out in the sun for hours. Moderate sun exposure, 15 to 30 minutes on the arms and legs a few times a week, is often enough for those without severe deficiency. For food sources, fatty fish like salmon, fortified milk, egg yolks, and mushrooms are excellent choices. For those who can't get enough through food or sun, supplements are safe and effective under a doctor's supervision. Bottom line, if you're over 60 and haven't checked your vitamin D levels recently, it might be time. This simple nutrient can make a profound difference in how strong and stable your legs feel and how confident you are walking through life. Vitamin B12, the electric wire behind muscle control. If your muscles are the motors that power your legs, vitamin B12 is the electricity that keeps those motors running. This essential nutrient is critical for nerve function. And as anyone who's ever experienced numbness or tingling can tell you, healthy nerves are key to staying upright, coordinated, and balanced. As we get older, our ability to absorb B12 from food declines, largely because the stomach produces less acid and intrinsic factor, two things necessary for B12 absorption. One patient who really illustrated this for me was Roy, a 76-year-old former postal worker who started to feel like his legs just didn't want to listen to him. He wasn't in pain, but he felt like his feet dragged and his steps were getting clumsy. A neurologist first suspected Parkinson's, but a thorough lab workup showed a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. Within weeks of starting high-dose B12 injections, Roy felt his strength and coordination return. His gait improved, and he said it was like his legs woke up from a nap. Vitamin B12 deficiencies often develop slowly, which is why they're so dangerous. Symptoms like leg fatigue, instability, or a heavy feeling can be mistaken for arthritis or aging. But in reality, B12 deficiency causes demyelination, the breakdown of the protective covering around nerves, which slows down nerve signals from the brain to the legs. That delay, even by a fraction of a second, can lead to tripping, delayed reflexes, or poor balance. B12 is naturally found in animal-based foods like meat, eggs, milk, and shellfish. For seniors on plant-based diets, fortified cereals or nutritional yeast can help, but supplementation is often necessary. The good news? B12 is water-soluble, so the body excretes what it doesn't need, making it one of the safest vitamins to supplement. The takeaway is simple. If your legs feel like they're not under your full control, if you're stumbling more, dragging your feet, or feeling odd sensations, it might not be your joints or muscles at all. It could be your nerves, and vitamin B12 might be exactly what's missing. Calcium, the structural foundation of strength. Calcium often gets typecast as the bone mineral, and while it's absolutely essential for bone density, it plays a far more dynamic role in the body, especially when it comes to your legs. Every time you move a muscle, whether it's lifting your foot or standing from chair, calcium ions are involved in triggering those contractions. Without enough calcium, your muscles may feel sluggish, weak, or prone to cramping. For older adults, these symptoms are often brushed off as age-related decline, but many times they're signs of calcium deficiency. Take Martha, a 68-year-old avid gardener who suddenly found herself unable to kneel or stand for long periods without severe muscle fatigue. After a dietary review and a bone density scan, we discovered that not only was she getting less than half her daily calcium needs, but her bones were already showing signs of osteopenia. We introduced more calcium-rich foods into her diet, like kale, sardines, and fortified plant-based milks, and paired them with weight-bearing exercises like walking and light resistance bands. Within 3 months, Martha reported fewer cramps, more leg endurance, and greater confidence working in her garden. Calcium's role in leg health becomes even more important when you consider how dangerous falls are for seniors. A simple stumble that might have caused a bruise in youth can now result in a hip fracture or months in a rehabilitation facility. When bones are calcium deficient, they lose density, become brittle, and are more susceptible to breaking. Strong legs aren't just about muscle power. They need a solid skeletal framework to function. The daily calcium recommendation for older adults typically falls between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams. While dairy remains a common source, it's not the only option. Many seniors are lactose intolerant or prefer plant-based alternatives, which is why fortified milks, tofu, and leafy greens are so important. Supplements are available too, but they should be used cautiously and preferably under medical guidance, as too much calcium, especially in supplement form, can lead to kidney stones or vascular issues. To put it plainly, calcium gives your leg structure and your muscles strength. Without it, you're not just risking fractures, you're compromising your freedom to move with ease and independence. Magnesium, the muscle whisperer you didn't know you needed. Magnesium rarely gets the spotlight, but when it comes to muscle function, especially in your legs, it's one of the most crucial minerals in your entire body. Without it, your muscles can't contract and relax properly. And if you're someone who's woken up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse, so painful you shot straight up in bed, you already know what magnesium deficiency feels like. Those sudden spasms, that tight knot in your calf, the uncomfortable twitching in your thigh while you're trying to relax. Those are all signs your body is screaming for more magnesium. I had a patient named Gloria, a 70-year-old piano teacher who'd never had health problems until she began experiencing frequent leg cramps at night. She described the pain as jolting and said it made her afraid to go to sleep. She tried drinking more water and stretching before bed, but nothing worked. When we tested her magnesium levels, they were well below normal. After just 2 weeks of supplementing with magnesium glycinate and eating more magnesium-rich foods like spinach, pumpkin seeds, and black beans, the cramps vanished. She came back to my office laughing, saying she finally got through a whole night without being kicked awake by her own leg. Magnesium is vital for regulating the flow of calcium and potassium in and out of muscle cells. This balance allows muscles to contract and release in a controlled way. Without it, muscles can stay locked, leading to cramping and stiffness. But magnesium doesn't just help your muscles. It also plays a crucial role in bone health by helping transport calcium to where it belongs, inside your bones, not your joints or arteries. That's important because calcium that's not properly managed can lead to stiffness, joint pain, and even dangerous arterial calcification. Unfortunately, magnesium deficiency is widespread in older adults due to stress, poor diet, and the use of medications like diuretics and proton pump inhibitors. Seniors should aim to eat magnesium-rich foods daily and consider supplementation if their diet falls short. Whether through food or supplements, restoring magnesium levels often leads to immediate, noticeable relief, not just in your legs, but in your overall sense of energy and well-being. Think of magnesium as the backstage crew that makes sure your legs hit their mark every time. Vitamin K, the silent architect of strong bones and flexible joints. When people think of strong bones, they usually think of calcium and maybe vitamin D. But if you're missing vitamin K, you're essentially building a house without a blueprint. Vitamin K is the nutrient that tells your body where to send the calcium. Without it, calcium can get deposited in the wrong places like arteries and soft tissues, instead of being locked into your bones where it belongs. This misplacement not only weakens your skeletal system, but can also lead to stiff joints and impaired circulation in the legs. One of my patients, Irene, 73, had been religious about taking her calcium and vitamin D for years. But she still experienced knee pain, stiffness, and was told she had early-stage osteoarthritis. After a deeper nutritional analysis, we realized she was barely getting any vitamin K. She started adding leafy greens, like kale, Swiss chard, and spinach, to her daily meals, and also incorporated natto, a fermented soy product rich in vitamin K2. Within a few months, her stiffness eased, and her joint range improved so much she began taking morning walks again without pain. There are two main forms of vitamin K, K1 and K2. K1 is abundant in leafy greens and plays a big role in blood clotting, while K2, found in fermented foods and animal products like egg yolks and liver, is more effective at activating the proteins that bind calcium to your bone matrix. This is what makes bones denser, less likely to fracture, and more capable of supporting your muscles during motion. Emerging research is also showing that vitamin K plays a part in muscle function and neuromuscular coordination. It helps regulate calcium signaling inside muscle cells, which may explain why people with higher vitamin K intake experience better balance and stronger physical performance in aging. For older adults, this is vital. Walking, dancing, stepping off a curb, these all depend on bones and muscles working together, not in isolation. If you're eating a nutrient-rich diet but still suffering from weak legs or joint pain, vitamin K could be the missing puzzle piece. Talk to your doctor if you're on blood thinners before increasing intake. But otherwise, embracing more vitamin K-rich foods could be the simplest way to give your legs a powerful boost from the inside out. Potassium, the unsung hero of steady movement. If calcium builds the structure and magnesium controls the rhythm, potassium keeps everything moving with fluidity and balance. This essential mineral works inside your muscle cells to regulate fluid balance and conduct the electrical impulses that control muscle contractions. It's the spark plug that ensures your brain signals are delivered efficiently to your legs. When your potassium levels drop, your muscles become overly sensitive, prone to spasms, and less responsive. For seniors, that can mean not only more frequent cramps, but also slower, less coordinated movements that increase the risk of falls. Take Jerry, a 67-year-old former construction worker who came in because he'd started stumbling while walking short distances. "It's like my legs don't always keep up with my brain," he told me. His lab results showed borderline low potassium. We discussed a diet overhaul, adding in bananas, sweet potatoes, lentils, and even a daily serving of coconut water. Within a month, Jerry's gait improved. He wasn't tripping anymore. He felt steadier, more confident when climbing stairs, and even got back into doing light yard work. Potassium doesn't just stop muscle cramps. It helps muscles contract and relax smoothly. That's crucial for everyday actions like standing up from a chair or navigating uneven sidewalks. Potassium also plays a surprising role in bone health. It helps neutralize acids in the body that, if left unchecked, can leach calcium from the bones and contribute to osteoporosis. So while it's often talked about as a muscle mineral, potassium is equally important in keeping your skeletal system strong and your legs capable of bearing your weight. Older adults need between 2,600 milligrams to 3,400 milligrams of potassium daily, depending on gender and health status. Most Americans fall short. Processed foods, which dominate many diets, are notoriously low in potassium and high in sodium, the enemy of muscle and bone health. For those with kidney issues or on medications that affect potassium levels, intake must be monitored closely under a doctor's supervision. But for most people, increasing potassium through whole foods can bring rapid improvements in muscle responsiveness, coordination, and overall leg strength. So if your legs feel shaky, slow, or crampy, it might not be age. It might just be low potassium whispering through your muscles. Vitamin B6, the overlooked nutrient that fuels strength and stability. While vitamin B6 doesn't get as much press as B12 or vitamin D, it plays an absolutely critical role in keeping your legs strong, your movements coordinated, and your energy level steady. This vitamin, also known as pyridoxine, is involved in everything from nerve signal transmission to muscle protein synthesis to red blood cell production. Without enough of it, even healthy muscle fibers can underperform, making your legs feel weaker, slower, or more fatigued after minimal effort. Let me tell you about Ben, a 69-year-old former pilot who had always been active but started complaining about feeling winded and heavy-legged just from walking across a parking lot. He said he felt drained for no reason, even though he was eating well and staying hydrated. A closer look at his blood panel revealed low normal B6 levels and borderline anemia. It made sense. B6 helps produce hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen to muscles. Without sufficient oxygen delivery, even the strongest legs can tire out quickly. Once Ben started eating more B6-rich foods, bananas, chickpeas, salmon, and potatoes, and added a gentle B6 supplement, the difference was striking. Within 6 weeks, his endurance returned. "It's like my legs aren't dragging sandbags anymore," he joked at his follow-up visit. But there's another key role B6 plays: protecting your nervous system. Just like B12, B6 supports the transmission of signals between your brain and muscles. Low B6 can cause tingling, poor balance, or a feeling of unsteadiness, all of which raise your risk of falls. And if you've ever noticed that your legs feel stiff and slow after minimal activity, especially in cold weather or after sitting too long, that could be linked to low-grade inflammation, something B6 also helps regulate by managing inflammatory pathways in the body. Older adults typically need about 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams of vitamin B6 per day. While that amount can often be met through diet, some seniors may benefit from supplements, especially those on medications that interfere with B6 absorption, such as certain blood pressure or anti-inflammatory drugs. But remember, more is not always better. Very high doses over long periods can lead to nerve damage. That's why it's best to work with your healthcare provider to find a safe, effective way to keep your B6 levels optimal. It might just be the boost your legs have been waiting for. Conclusion: your legs, your life, and the nutrients that keep you moving. Leg strength isn't just about muscles. It's about freedom. It's about getting out of bed without hesitation, walking through the park without worrying about falling, standing in the kitchen to cook your favorite meal, and dancing at your granddaughter's wedding. It's about being present in your life, not sitting on the sidelines. And the older we get, the more we realize that every step we take is a small victory in maintaining independence. That's why caring for your legs is about so much more than fitness. It's about quality of life. Over the past several decades of working with older adults, I've seen a recurring pattern. Many of the people who struggle with fatigue, leg cramps, poor balance, or frequent falls are missing key nutrients in their diet. Vitamin D, calcium, B12, magnesium, potassium, vitamin K, and B6. Each one plays a unique role in the delicate balance between bones, muscles, nerves, and blood flow. When even one of them is deficient, the system begins to falter. But the good news is that these aren't mysteries locked away in medical journals. They're problems with solutions, grounded in decades of research and validated by the real-world experiences of patients just like you. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Small, consistent changes are what make the biggest difference. Add more leafy greens to your dinner plate. Take a walk outside in the morning sun. Talk to your doctor about checking your vitamin D and B12 levels. Add a banana to your breakfast. Roast some sweet potatoes with olive oil and herbs. Invest in a high-quality multivitamin if your diet is limited. These little adjustments can compound into enormous results. Less cramping, more energy, better balance, and most importantly, confidence in your own body. No matter your age, it's never too late to nourish your legs and protect your mobility. You've got places to go, people to see, stories to live. Don't let weak legs hold you back. With the right nutritional support, your legs can stay strong, steady, and ready to carry you through the years ahead with grace, strength, and dignity.